This is your Hdsr Sports Report, the Victor Valley's only weekly action highlights sports program, covering our area's schools, teams, athletes, and sporting events. Carson Cox scores 4 touchdowns in Oak Hill's convincing 42-21 victory over Apple Valley, the triumph all but assuring the Bulldogs of three-peating as Mojave River League champions. The defense played a big part in the Bulldogs building a 28-7 halftime lead. This Jordan Simmons interception at the Sun Devils' 14 preceded the second Oak Hill's touchdown. And with 21 seconds before halftime, Dejan Hall intercepts the pass thrown by Ariav Biswas, who was filling in for sidelined quarterback Noah Seeley. Dejan Hall, the 6', 175-pound junior strong safety. Next play, Diego Lopez hits Carson Cox on the slant pattern, and Oak Hills takes a 3-touchdown lead into the locker room at halftime. The first Bulldogs touchdown came on this 34-yard jaunt by Carson Cox. It capped a 93-yard drive on their opening possession. Carson Cox is 6', 195, a junior. Diego Lopez hits Maurice Parker for the second touchdown. It follows the Jordan Simmons interception. The 5'9", 180-pound senior explains the play.
I caught the ball on a fly route, and then there was a defender in front of me. I shook him, and I took it for a touchdown.
Did the Bulldogs expect to move the ball with equal effectiveness on the ground and in the air?
Honestly, yeah, we expect to come in and succeed in both aspects of the game, running or passing. We just got to keep at it.
Did you expect to be able to move the ball both in the air and on the ground?
Most definitely. So first quarter, you already know we were running the ball down on the throat, and it's working out good for us. So I think we're going to stick to the run game right now. I feel like our O-line is the best O-line in the Hdsr, so we just got to win the ball.
The victory keeps intact Robert Metzger's streak of never losing to a Mojave River League opponent in his 3 years as head coach of the Bulldogs. Oak Hills has 2 remaining MRL games, hosting Sultana next week, then at home against Burroughs to close out regular season play. Apple Valley falls to 3-2 overall, 1-2 in league. Kyle Godfrey's Sun Devils go to Burroughs next, needing to win their 2 remaining league games to ensure a postseason berth. Those of us who have covered a Mihalchik-coached Serrano football team over the years have learned if you cannot stop the Diamondbacks' running game, you have to score at least 5 touchdowns to beat them. That axiom proved true when Serrano went up against favored Sultana in this Mojave River League battle between 2 evenly matched teams. Carlos Empleo scores 3 touchdowns to lead Casey Mihalchik's Diamondbacks past Sultana 35-22. Serrano scores in every quarter, twice in the first quarter and on short runs in the second, third, and fourth. The D-backs defense succeeds in containing Jacob Higgs sufficiently enough, limiting the league's premier quarterback to 1 touchdown pass and 2 rushing touchdowns. The 22 Sultana points, far shy of the quota needed to outscore Serrano this night. Serrano's first touchdown capped their opening possession, a 73-yard march that consumed the first 7 minutes of the game. Rapid response by Sultana on their 3rd play from scrimmage. Jacob Higgs sets up, then decides to run. Hey, he does a better job describing what we see.
They sent an all-out blitz on 3rd and medium, and I made one guy miss and let my athleticism do the rest. So, line picked up enough guys and a touchdown.
It's 7-7. Serrano's scoring drives are not nearly as fast-paced. The ball control running game effectively setting up this play-action pass. Junior quarterback J.J. Kavanaugh hits the wide-open Josh Martin, the scoring play from 45 yards. 14-7 Diamondbacks. And that's the score at the end of the first quarter. The Diamondbacks' third possession ends with them coughing up the ball. Rico Diaz-Perez, 72, the 6'2", 280-pound senior defensive tackle, causing the fumble. LaMason Waller III scooping it up. Jacob Higgs goes right to work. The southpaw sidearms the completion to Elbert Hardin for a first down. Elbert Hardin is 5'10", 157, a senior wide receiver. Jacob Higgs drills the completion to fellow junior LaMason Waller III, 6'2", 180, all MRL wide receiver. This is a 3rd and long following a penalty. Jake Higgs gets 16 the hard way. That resounding, smacking block downfield thrown by Cameron Ortega, 2. The reigning Mojave River League Offensive Player of the Year hits Joey De Leon for a first down to the 5. Joey De Leon is 6'2", 165, a junior wide receiver. Next play, the 6'1", 176-pound signal caller and field general spins away from one tackler and scores standing up. The score is tied at 14. We have 5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. The Diamondbacks launch another grind-it-out drive, this one beginning from their own 25. Carlos Amplio, on one of his 54 carries, he's listed at 5'7" and 150. Those are generous measurements for the diminutive senior running back. He carries for 292 yards this night. 9 plays and 5 minutes into the drive, Carlos Amplio goes into the end zone standing up from 2 yards out. With but 52 seconds remaining before halftime, Serrano takes a 21-14 lead. Coach T.C. Cleveland rolls the dice on Sultana's first possession of the second half, going for it on a 4th and 5 with the Sultans at their own 45. The gamble comes up snake eyes, and the Diamondbacks have a short field on their first possession in the third quarter. The Serrano O-line continues winning the battle in the trenches. Carlos Amplio follows his blocking and picks up 5 in the red zone. What proves to be the game-winning touchdown comes on the 1-yard plunge that makes it 28-14. One of Carlos Amplio's biggest and most important runs comes on this 4th and 6 at Sultana's 45 early in the fourth quarter. The gain of 21 sustains the drive that ultimately puts the game away. Josh Martin gets the call on the next play. He carries for 10 and a first down at the 14. From the 5, Carlos Amplio scores and pretty well sums up the Diamondbacks' formula for success.
We're just running down their throat. That's it. That's all we're doing.
What do you tell your O-line?
Thank you. Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Serrano is in a tie with Hesperia in second place in league at 2-1 and on a collision course with Hesperia for second place in league. If Casey Mahalchik's D-backs can upset Hesperia, as they did Sultana, they clearly enhance chances to finish the second place team in the league. Serrano is 4-4 overall. Hesperia's juggernaut crushed Burroughs 44-0. Casey Goodnose Scorpions need to beat the Diamondbacks in Serrano to remain the second-place team in the Mojave River League. Atalanto's victory over Silverado puts Rafael Perry's Saints on track for a possible playoff berth. Granite Hills gets 4 Cameron Smith touchdowns in the 47-14 rout of Victor Valley. Alex Gonzalez's Cougars are alone atop the Desert Sky League at 3-0. Idle Barstow is 2-0. We Got 'em Tees presents this Action Highlights High Desert Sports Report. We Got 'em Tees, your headquarters for custom screen printing and mastercraft embroidery designs. We Got 'em official CIF-sanctioned Chanel patches for varsity jackets. We Got 'em Tees, 2 locations, Apple Valley and Upland. Oh yeah, We Got 'em Tees.
Congratulations on your first win.
Your High Desert Sports Report is brought to you by Down Home Grill in Victorville on the corner of Bear Valley Road and Ridgecrest Road. Bid fast and last, sold on supporting High Desert Sports. The Bradco Companies, supporting all of the teams and sports programs throughout the Mojave River Valley. Iwanzak Law Firm, trial lawyers for serious problems. Valu Quality Truck Body. Valu manufactures state-of-the-art truck bodies for the construction industry nationwide. We Got 'em Tees, your headquarters for custom screen printing and mastercraft embroidery design. Silverwood, the developers of the Silverwood Master Planned Community, support the teams, athletes, and sports programs of all our High Desert and Mojave River Valley schools. And by the Holiday Inn in Victorville. The Holiday Inn, Conference and Convention Center for the High Desert. The Holiday Inn, supporting the teams, schools, and sports programs throughout the Victor Valley. Terry Kurtz here, inviting you to join us on Terry Kurtz Online, the half-hour report on High Desert and Mojave River Valley events and activities, entertainment, and history. It shows 3 times daily at 7:30 and 11:30 mornings and 4:30 in the afternoon, right here on Victor Valley TV, immediately following your High Desert Sports Report. It's the most informative and entertaining half-hour of High Desert television today. The Victor Valley College Rams get a standout performance from defensive lineman Aaron Morrow in their conference battle against Santa Ana College. The second-year Ram and former Adelanto Saint recovers 2 fumbles, makes 2 solo tackles, 3 for a loss among his 6 tackles on the day, and is involved in the game's most unusual play when he comes up with the ball after a Rams punt was blocked. How does he define his role on this team?
I see myself as like a quiet leader. Everyone's sponsored with my place. We're talking, make sure I got everything supposed to do.
Quarterback Landon Webster scored the Rams' touchdown against Santa Ana and felt bad about keeping the ball on the option instead of handing off to his running back teammate Deshaun Miner. He describes the play.
So we came out there. I honestly feel a little bad because I robbed Deshaun of his first rushing touchdown this season. He's a dog. He deserves it. He's been putting in work, but they came in, they crashed down, they left the lane right open. I had to take it. So he came over to me and said he doesn't care because he just wanted a touchdown. So, it's all good with that. But
Landon Webster is in almost all of VVC's biggest offensive plays this day. The 34-yard completion to Omari McCullough, his longest completion of the afternoon. Omari McCullough, sophomore out of Adelanto. The first-year Ram out of Victorville's Goodwill Education Center completes passes to 8 different receivers. Jalen Yancey with this catch. Jalen Yancey, another former Adelanto Saint. This completion to Christian Macias brings the Rams from midfield into the red zone. Christian Macias, a member of the 2022 MRL champion Oak Hills Bulldogs. Landon Webster scrambles on this play and lofts the deep completion to Omari McCullough, who goes up to make the catch. Jacob Staley, the recipient of one of Landon Webster's 8 completions, Landon Webster threw for 107 yards total. The Rams' defense held the second-place team in the American Metro Conference scoreless the first quarter. Leolofi Chan Wong, 1 leading tacklers on this 4th and short denial that enables VVC to take over on downs. Watch for Ricky Lee Medina, 43, making the tackle here. Ricky Lee Medina, former Oak Hills Bulldog. He's a 6'2", 230-pound first-year Ram. Aaron Morrow and Malik Mosley turn this play in. Former Silverado linebacker Andrew Almos, 27, among Rams in on this tackle in the red zone. 9 is defensive back Prabdeep Mann. Prabdeep Mann and Leolofi Chan Wong combined to tackle the Dons ball carrier for no gain. The Rams' next home game is October 28th against College of the Desert. back here at Apple Valley High School. This Victor Valley College Sports Report is presented by the Bradco Companies, Joseph W. Brady's Bradco Companies, the High Desert Mojave River Valley's longest-standing full-service commercial brokerage firm. Bradco, ardent supporters of the team's athletes and sports programs at Victor Valley College. Looking back in High Desert sports history, Victor Valley College Rams retained #1 in the state ranking following this 2014 thumping of San Bernardino Valley. Former Barstow Aztec Aaron Sanchez posts a huge postseason win for the Toronto Blue Jays in the 2016 playoffs. All-CIF wide receiver Tyron Smith sets school pass receiving yardage record in this 2019 Sun Devils triumph. And before it's over, Victor Valley College coach Dave Hoover is congratulating his Rams on their 6th straight victory. This was the 40-10 win over San Bernardino, ensuring the Rams of retaining the #1 in the state ranking. Paul Mraz throws for 310 yards and 3 second-half touchdowns and tells what ingredients have contributed to the Rams being the top team in the state.
I think it's where we play as a family. It really comes down to being resilient. I mean, if you're going, if things aren't going your way, you got to keep battling. And I think we have each other's backs, and I think that's a part of the success we have at this team.
Former Silverado Hawk Keyshawn Ramsey picks off ex-Serrano quarterback Daniel Epperson, igniting the Rams' second-half surge. The third Paul Mraz touchdown pass comes off this play action. Jamal Tate down the far sidelines. The play covering 16 yards, closing out the scoring. The Rams amass 494 total yards and emerge the only undefeated team in the Southern Division California Community College Athletic Association. Aaron Sanchez pitches Toronto back into the ALCS. The Barstow graduate beats Cleveland to stave off elimination for the Blue Jays, recording the victory in Toronto's 5-1 win. Sanchez strikes out the first 2 hitters he faces and Ks 5 over 6 innings. The 24-year-old is clocked at 96 miles an hour with his fastball, yet he rings up Indians hitters with off-speed pitches. He left after 6 with Toronto leading 2-1. Sanchez gave up but 2 hits and 1 run in the first postseason start of his career. He walked 2, throwing 95 pitches. Sanchez won the American League lowest earned run average, winning 15 and losing twice. Aaron Sanchez was drafted by the Blue Jays in the first round out of Barstow High School in 2010. Sanchez was an American League All-Star pitcher in this, his 3rd season in the majors. Apple Valley wide receiver Tyron Smith breaks the single-game school record for receiving yards in the Sun Devils' 9-touchdown outburst at Sultana as Apple Valley bounces back big time from their MRL loss at Serrano.
Practice this week was a little tougher since we were coming off that loss against Serrano, and we knew we had to bounce back from that and completely show our skills and continue to win out from the season. So it was a little harder. Coaches were pushing us a lot more. Weight room was more serious, so we took it a lot better.
This is 1st and 5 from the 30. J-Max Denigal gets it quickly to Tyron Smith, who spins outside, then cuts to the middle, outrunning the Sultana secondary, the 70-yard sprint, the 9th TD reception on the year for the junior wide receiver. Apple Valley scores 3 touchdowns the first quarter, 3 in the second quarter, and 3 more the second half. Touchdown number 4 on the night comes on Tyron Smith's 45-yard catch and run. As for J. Max Denigal, 15 of 16 this game for 442 yards. He has eclipsed 1,000 yards passing thus far his sophomore season. Tyron Smith's 3rd of 4 touchdowns on the night comes with 25 seconds on the clock before intermission. Kenyon Edwards Jr. 58 yards as time is running out in the first quarter. Kenyon Edwards Jr.'s 178 yards this game carries him over the 1,000-yard milestone. The eventual shutout is Apple Valley's 4th of the year in their 7 victories. The 63 points, the most the Sun Devils have scored this season, and the Sun Devils leave J. Reed Field with their 7th win in 8 games. Bid fast and last. Sold on showcasing sports headline makers seasons past. You can bid virtual live online on firearms, vehicles, electric bicycles, collectibles, fine jewelry, coins, antiques, classic cars, and more at bidfastandlast.com.
Start fires, kick ass, take names, and rock and roll.
Your way, Internet.
High flying days for Silverado Hawks in battles with Desert Sky League Championship implications, 2016 and 2018 seasons specifically, and Oak Hill's propensity for knocking the props out of Apple Valley's hopes for a league title. Flashbacks to this date in High Desert Gridiron history. The Silverado defense turns back Atalanto's try for a second straight Desert Sky League triumph, while the Hawks' tailor-made offense racks up 35 first-half points on their way to a 42-7 DSL triumph. Deonze Nolan scores the first 2 times he touches the ball, and Levi Taylor throws 3 scoring passes and runs for 2 more in the Hawks' first Desert Sky League outing. Deonze Nolan races 53 yards on Silverado's first play from scrimmage and quiets the Saints' homecoming crowd at Julian Weaver Stadium. The Levi Taylor to Trevon Clark scoring pass from 5 yards out, the Hawks soar to a 28-0 first quarter lead on their way to their 5th win of the year. The Hawks have 2 losses. The Hawks' defense makes it tough for the Saints to move the ball all night. Atalanto's ground game, minus 11 yards total against the Hawks. Senior Southpaw quarterback Deshaun Wilson rolls right. Elijah Hayes Chandler, the receiver. Senior outside linebacker Angel Lopez instantaneously wrestles down the 6'3", 170-pound senior wide receiver Elijah Hayes Chandler, one among many Saints two-way starters for undermanned Atalanto. The Saints suit up 27 players in this, their final home game of the 2016 season. Levi Taylor to Deonze Nolan, 37-yard scoring play. Levi Taylor completes 13 of 25 this night. His 3 scoring passes bring his season total to 17 and move him to number 1 for TD passes among High Desert quarterbacks. We flash back to this Silverado at Atalanto game in 2018, a game deciding the DSL title. The Saints bring on a team with an unprecedented 6-game winning streak, determined to dethrone the defending Desert Sky League champion Hawks. What awaits all is a defensive struggle of massive proportions, unforeseen, and a contest beset with bends and breaks by both teams that leave the outcome not to be decided until the final 2.5 minutes of play. Both teams come in averaging 26 points a game. Both teams will roll 7s to hit pay dirt. The Hawks 7 twice. Silverado's Nick Reed Casey scores a pair of second-half touchdowns, the first from 7 yards out. It puts the Hawks up 9-0. The second, the game winner, essentially on the 24-yard run on the first play of the fourth quarter. The Hawks' defense denies Atalanto's late-game attempt to replicate a Silverado fate like the Hawks suffered a week earlier. Silverado holds on instead and emerges with a 4-point victory, 16-12. Silverado's defense was undeniably dominant throughout the entire first half and until the final 2 minutes of the third quarter. It was then that Saints number 7, Marshawn Buchanan, bursts through for a 92-yard sprint to the end zone. The touchdown brings Adelanto within 3, 9-6, entering the fourth quarter. With a harvest moon as a backdrop and the Desert Sky League distinction of front runner hanging in the balance, Adelanto's number 7, Marshawn Buchanan, has begun to heat up. This, the kickoff return following Silverado's first touchdown. Now to the fourth quarter. Silverado is up 16-6. Adelanto gets back into the game with a second long-range touchdown. Angel Ochoa's pass caught by homecoming royalty Mekhi White, 90 yards. And the Saints are an onside kick recovery away from doing to the Hawks what Ukaipa did 1 week earlier. Next up for the Hawks, at home against the Barstow Aztecs. That same year, 2018, Oak Hills hosted Apple Valley in this game that decided the Mojave River League Championship. Oak Hills running back Martinique Finn runs wild, an incredible 331 yards rushing and leading the Bulldogs to a convincing 35-26 victory over Apple Valley for the Mojave River League Championship. The 5'10", 180-pound senior scores twice on runs from 5 yards out. Coach Robert Kistner's Bulldogs offensive line dominates and decimates the Apple Valley defense. 330-pound tackle Jason Rodriguez says the difference in the game was chemistry.
All we had was chemistry. Our D-line tore shit up, excuse my language. Our O-line had perfect chemistry. We all got our feet right. Our defense held them all in. Our O-line kept the ball on the field, and we scored every time. That's how we do it. Okay.
Quarterback Josh Stewart runs for 1 touchdown. This, the game's first, a 27-yard run, capping Oak Hill's game-opening possession. Josh Stewart's 27-yard touchdown pass to Mikey Delgado puts Oak Hills up 20-14 on their final possession of the first half. Jeff Widener accounts for all 4 Apple Valley touchdowns, scoring twice on runs from 1 yard out and throwing 2 scoring passes. This 5-yard TD pass to Tyron Smith ties the score at 14 early in the second quarter. This 6-yard scoring strike to Chaz Smith pulls the Sun Devils within 1, trailing 27-26 early in the fourth quarter. Oak Hills responds to Apple Valley's 4th and final touchdown by executing an 8-play, 80-yard scoring drive. Martinique Finn smashing through Apple Valley defenders on one long run after another, capping the drive with his second 5-yard touchdown run. Oak Hills goes for a 2-point conversion, and Martinique Finn's carry into the end zone extends their advantage to a 2-possession requirement for Apple Valley to rally. In Coffer's sack of Jeff Widener punctuates the finish to the storyline with an exclamation point on the Sun Devils' last possession. The final score, Bulldogs 35, Sun Devils 26. We flash back to the future and this week's complete schedule of MRL and DSL games. Oak Hills shoots for an 8th win when they take on Sultana. The Scorpions game at Serrano matches up a pair of teams that are 2-1 in league play. Adelanto hosts Victor Valley, shooting for back-to-back wins. Terry Kurtz here, inviting you to join us on Terry Kurtz Online, the half-hour report on High Desert and Mojave River Valley events and activities, entertainment and history. It shows 3 times daily at 7:30 and 11:30 mornings and 4:30 in the afternoon, right here on Victor Valley TV, immediately following your High Desert Sports Report. It's the most informative and entertaining half-hour of High Desert television today. Your High Desert Sports Report is brought to you by Down Home Grill, corner of Bear Valley Road and Ridgecrest Road in Victorville. Bid fast and last, world-class auctioneers. Valu, Quality Truck Bodies, Joseph W. Brady's Bradco Companies, Iwanzak Law Firm, trial lawyers for serious problems. Silverwood, the developers of the Silverwood Master Planned Community. We Got 'em Tees, your headquarters for custom screen printing and mastercraft embroidery design. And by the Holiday Inn in Victorville, Conference and Convention Center for the Victor Valley. The Holiday Inn supports our area's teams, schools, athletes, and sports programs. This is your High Desert Sports Report, the Victor Valley's only weekly action highlights sports program, covering our area's schools, teams, athletes, and sporting events.